Daf Yomi, Tractate Zevachim, page 22b, top of the page with the words Tanai Hi. Like right after the first line, or in the first line. I can't tell exactly because I don't have the actual form, the actual daf, but it would seem that it would be like a line or two into it. Anyway, Tanai Hi. The Gemara responds, the issue is a dispute between Tanaim. As Rabbi Yochanan says with regard to the water of the basin, Rabbi Yishmael says it must be spring water, meaning flowing water, and the rabbis say it may be another type of water. Orel minala Rav Chizda davar ze mitoras Moshe Rabbeinu lo lamadnu midivrei Yecheskel ben Buzi lamadnu kol ben necha orel lev orel basar lo yavo el mikdashi l'sharseni. The Mishnah teaches that a priest who is uncircumcised disqualifies sacrificial rites he performs. The Gemara elaborates, from where do we derive this? Rav Chizda says, we did not learn this matter from the Torah of Moses, our teacher. Rather, we learned it from the words of the prophet Ezekiel, son of Buzi. No stranger, uncircumcised in heart or uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary to serve me. Ezekiel 44:9. Umina lenimachal yavoido nichsiv behaviachem es bnei nechar aralei lev aralei vasar liyos mimdosh lechal es beisi. And from where do we derive that he desecrates the service after the fact? As it is written, in that you have brought in strangers uncircumcised in heart or uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary, to profane my house. Ezekiel 44, verse 7. Torah banan ben nechol yachal ben nechol mamash tamalom orel leivim kein ma tamalom ben nechol shenis nakeru ma'asav le'aviv shebashamayim ve'eni ela orel leiv orel basar benayim tamalom ve'orel basar. The sages taught, the verse states stranger. One might have thought that this is referring to an actual stranger, meaning a Gentile, a non-Yehudi. Therefore, the verse states uncircumcised in heart to indicate that it is referring to a priest rather than a non-Yehudi. If so, what is the meaning of when the verse states stranger? It is referring to one whose actions are considered estranged from his Father in heaven, meaning an apostate who sins regularly. And I have derived only that one uncircumcised in heart is unfit to serve. From where is it derived that one uncircumcised in flesh is unfit as well? The verse states, or uncircumcised in flesh. Utsrichi di kazverachman ored basar mishum dimais aval orev lev v'loimais emala. V'iyash mi'inen orel lev mishum de'ein libo l'shamayim aval orel basar de'libo l'shamayim emala tzrichi. The Gemara notes, and both phrases in the verse are necessary, as had the merciful one written only uncircumcised in flesh, one might think that only he is unfit because he is disgusting in that he possesses a foreskin. But concerning one uncircumcised in heart, who is not disgusting, I will say that he is not unfit. And had the verse taught us only that one uncircumcised in heart is unfit, one might think that only he is unfit because his heart is not directed toward heaven. But one uncircumcised in flesh, whose heart is directed towards heaven, I will say that he is not unfit. Therefore both phrases are necessary. Tame pasol imru ziknei daroim lo yishanu ela tamei sheretz avol tamei meis mitoich shemaratzi tzibo maratzi nami biyochid. The Mishnah teaches that a ritually impure priest is unfit for temple service. and disqualifies rites he performs. The elders of the south said they taught this only with regard to one who became impure due to contact with the carcass of a creeping animal, but with regard to a priest who became impure due to contact with a corpse, since he can effect acceptance of his rights for communal offerings ab initio, if the majority of the community has contracted impurity from a corpse, he can effect acceptance of his rights for individual offerings as well, after the fact. Ihachi tamei sheretz nami leisei v'kal v'choimer itamei meis matmei meis shetona za shlishi u'shvi meratze tamei sheretz sheinu tauna za shlishi u'shvi eno din shemeratze. The Gemara asks, if so, let it be derived that one impure, due to the carcass of the creeping animal, can also effect acceptance for communal offerings in cases of communal impurity ab initio, and for initial offerings after the fact, by a fortiori inference from one impure due to a corpse, just as a priest who is impure due to a corpse who requires sprinkling of the water containing the ashes of the red heifer on the third and seventh day to be purified, still affects acceptance. Then with regard to one who is impure due to the carcass of a creeping animal who does not require sprinkling on the third and seventh day, is it not right that he should be also affect acceptance? Gemara responds, the elders of the south hold that the halacha with regard to those who effect atonement is like those who achieve atonement, just as with regard to those who achieve atonement through communal offerings, meaning the community only if the majority is impure due to a corpse may the offering be sacrificed in a state of impurity, but if they are impure due to the carcass of a creeping animal, it may not. So too with regard to those who effect atonement, meaning the priests, if they serve when they are impure due to a corpse, yes, their service achieves atonement, but if they serve when they are impure due to the carcass of a creeping animal, it does not. My kasavri, in shachatim v'zolkin al tevei sheretz, amayla avdi tzibur betuma, kol shviachid nitche, tzibur avdi betuma. The response of the Gemara assumes that communal offerings may not be brought when the majority of the community is impure due to a creeping animal. The Gemara therefore asks, what do the elders of the south hold with regard to the paschal offering? If they hold that one may not slaughter nor sprinkle its blood on the altar for an owner who is impure due to a creeping animal, even though he can immerse and become pure in time to eat the offering that night, then one may ask, why can't the community perform communal offerings in such a state of impurity? Isn't it a principle that for any impurity for which an individual may not sacrifice the paschal offering and is deferred to the second Pesach, the community may perform its offerings in such a state of impurity? Ela kasaveri shochatim v'zalkin al tamei sheretz. Rather, they must hold that one may slaughter the paschal offering and sprinkle its blood for an owner who is impure due to a creeping animal. Accordingly, the community may not offer the paschal offering in such a state of impurity. Amar ula tika lehu reish lakish lederomai. איזה כוח מרובה, כוח מחפרינו, כוח מתחפרים. הרי אומר כוח מתחפרים. Ula says, Reish Lakish shouted, he shouted to the elders of the south, by which power is greater to overcome impurity with respect to offerings? The power of those who effect atonement, meaning the priests, or the power of those who achieve atonement, the offering's owners? This is the elders of the south hold, that the paschal offering may be sacrificed for an owner who is impure due to a creeping animal, while a priest who is similarly impure may not sacrifice any offering. You must say that the power of those who achieve atonement is greater. Uma makom. Uma bimkom shnitnu ba'ilim b'sheretz mishalchim kol ba'lisein. Kohen shnit b'sheretz eino meratze makom shnitnu ba'ilim b'mes. Sheim mishalchim kol ba'lisein. Kohen shnitnu b'mes eino din sheino meratze. If so, your initial statement that a priest who contracts impurity from a corpse can affect acceptance for individual offerings can be refuted a fortiori. And just as in the case where the owner became impure due to a creeping animal, and he may send his offerings for sacrifice, and yet a priest who became impure due to a creeping animal cannot affect acceptance, then in a case where the owner became impure due to a corpse, where he may not send his offerings for sacrifice, is it not right that a priest who became impure due to a corpse cannot affect acceptance? The Gemara responds, the elders of the south hold that an owner who is impure due to a corpse may also send his offerings, even though he will not be able to partake of his paschal offering. Therefore, the Kal V'chomer inference does not stand. V'haketiv ish ish. The Gemara protests, but isn't it written, if any man of you or of your generations shall be impure by reason of a dead body or be in a journey afar off, he shall perform the paschal offering to the Lord in the second month of the 14th day, on the 14th day at dusk. It's interesting, today's the 14th day also. It's the 14th day of the 7th month. It's interesting. In the second month, on the 14th day at dusk, we shall perform it. Numbers 9, 10, and 11. Apparently, one impure due to a corpse in the first month must defer his paschal offering to the second month. The Gemara responds, the verse intends this as a mitzvah ab initio. But if he sends his offering in the first month, it is accepted. Means you shouldn't do it lichatchilo, but if you did it, it's okay. If it is accepted, and he is not required to sacrifice a paschal offering in the second month. The Gemara asks, but isn't it written? And if the household be too little for a lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house take one according to the number of souls, a man. To be continued.